I want to talk for a moment about mortgage modification. Frequently I get phone calls from consumers who are not yet in foreclosure. They're trying to stay out of foreclosure by working with their banks to come up with some reasonable settlement to the terms of their mortgage. I'm very disappointed by what I see going on out there all across the country because the fact of the matter is that banks and institutions have received bajillions of dollars from our federal government, and virtually none of that, or very little of it, is making its way back to practical help and solutions for consumers. According to the information provided by the federal government, the banks, institutions, and servicers have gotten more than $50 billion as part of the Making Home Affordable program. I'm looking on my computer screen right now, and I see that for all of that money, that's gotten all across the country less than 300,000 permanent modifications. Here in the Tampa Bay area, the numbers are even worse. Less than 5,000 of our neighbors across this community have gotten a permanent modification through the HAMP program. Even if you've gotten a modification, it's not worth much of anything. Again, the numbers reported right here. Homeowners in permanent modification have a median reduction of $500 per month. That's frankly not much for the vast majority of people, especially when you consider that these people, through our tax dollars, have paid bajillions of dollars. The problem is, I hear my consumers every single day who report they're communicating with their banks over and over again, mailing tax returns, mailing bank statements, mailing information and faxing information to them, and then they're told over and over again that their banks don't receive that information. If it were just one or two banks or institutions or servicers, I would think that those particular companies have a problem. But the fact of the matter is that across all of these banks and all these servicers, I hear these horror stories. I can only assume that either they're grossly inept or these banks, institutions, and servicers don't want to be giving out modifications. And based on some research and other information available to me, I think there's some legitimate grounds to suggest that many of these banks and institutions don't want to modify mortgages, and part of the reason for that is I think they're getting more money for keeping people in foreclosure than helping them get out of foreclosure. I want to touch on another subject, and that is many consumers get preyed on either while they're in foreclosure or before they get into foreclosure by mortgage modification companies or other individuals and companies that contact them and suggest that somehow they can help them get a mortgage modification. Fact of the matter is that the Florida legislature has passed a number of laws in the last couple of years making most of this conduct illegal. You see, so many consumers were victimized by companies telling them that they could help them get a foreclosure stopped or help them get a mortgage modification, when in fact most of these companies did very little at all. And increasingly in this climate, even if the companies are working very hard, it's very difficult and maybe even impossible for them to get foreclosure assistance or help with their mortgage. It's important, if you're considering working with anyone who suggests that they might be able to help you with mortgage modification, that you check out their credentials very carefully. I want you to go to the links that are attached here, the Florida Attorney General's Office, the Florida Bar, and the Florida Department of Financial Services, and check out any company before you start to give them money. I think what you'll find is that no one should be accepting money from you and suggesting that they can help you with a mortgage modification or a foreclosure if they're not a licensed attorney. Do not deal with anybody out of state, even if they suggest that they're an attorney. If you can't go to an office and meet that attorney or meet that person that suggests that they can help you, do not give them money under any circumstances. If you feel like you've been victimized, contact the Attorney General's office, contact the Department of Financial Services, or contact the Florida Bar and report these individuals. There's some chance that you might be able to get the money back if you have been victimized. But more importantly, before you go down the road of giving anybody any money, check them out with the Attorney General's office, check out their credentials with the Florida Bar and the Department of Financial Services before you give them any money. But by and large, a consumer should be taking all of the initiative of making contacts with their banks. The most important tip or suggestion I can give you is that when you're communicating with your bank, keep a log of all communications. Write the 800 number down, write the time that you called, keep the name of whomever you've spoken with, and keep detailed notes. If you send out any information, whether it's via fax overnight mail or certified mail, keep a copy of what you sent and keep proof of what you sent. Especially important is send it via Federal Express or send it via overnight mail where you can have proof, A, that you sent it, and B, that they received it. You know, every single day I'm in front of judges, and every single day I have consumers who explain to the judges over and over again that they sent this information. Frankly, most judges are aware of these problems and the banks not recognizing the receipt of information. But what's so powerful is when a consumer comes before a judge with that notebook and she's able to present to the judge, here, Your Honor, here's everything that I've done to try and work with my bank, and they haven't done anything with me. I dare say that our judges, particularly those good judges in this community who are interested in trying to solve this problem, when presented with evidence from a consumer who's trying to work in good faith with their bank, and who are presented with on the other side a bank not recognizing or not working with that consumer, it's very difficult for that bank to get a foreclosure. So keep detailed records and information and be prepared to present that to a judge if ever they file foreclosure against you. Remember, be wary of anybody that suggests that they can help you in foreclosure if they're not a licensed attorney, and certainly be very concerned about someone that offers to help you with a mortgage modification. The fact of the matter is that the information is really pretty simple. There are no special tricks that can help you with a mortgage modification. All of the information you need is in your own possession. How much money is coming into the household per month and how much is going out per month. Those are two very simple numbers, and they frankly don't require any manipulation or any special knowledge from anybody that might suggest they can help you with mortgage modification. So again, keep good records, keep your communications up with the bank, and contact my office if I can help you with foreclosure. Keep up the good fight. Remember, you're not just saving your home, you're saving the community when you're fighting your foreclosure.